Tucson, Arizona's #1 online radio podcast.
Belle Star
and the Cannabis Kid. Our show features news, interviews, and all the latest information about anything and everything medical cannabis related in Tucson, Arizona,
and the world at large.
We'd love to hear from you. Please give us a call live at 646-915-8421. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on all social media, or email thctucson@gmail.com.
We'd like to thank Tumbleweed Health Center and Studio C, along with our many sponsors, for hosting our show every week. With the lowest price certifications in town, you'll find hemp products, accessories, and all things related to medical cannabis education.
Visit Tumbleweed's Health Center at 4826 East Broadway Boulevard or online at tumbleweedshealthcenter.com. And remember,
Be smart,
Be safe
and
educate. All right. Whoop, whoop. Righty, woo woo! Welcome to Weedsday Wednesday, y'all. Whoop whoop! How's it going? Yeah, let's get some sound effects going here because we like them. We love our sound effects. That's right. Welcome to Weedsday Wednesday, July 16th for the bestie. All right, let's see here. I know you're all just dying to know how many days until Christmas? 162 days until Christmas, 163 until it's over. I make myself laugh. I think that's the most important thing. You got to make yourself laugh. Yeah. July 16th. We are more than halfway through the year, kids. That is crazy to me. Welcome to Weedsday Wednesday. Belle Star here. Cannabis Kid is out there in the world somewhere. We'll get him in here. We'll find him. We'll bring him back. We'll reel him in. I just realized that we have to do another version of our intro because you can't call that phone number anymore. So sorry, kids. It's not available anymore. So you can't call it, but you can get online, go to tumbleweedshealthcenter.com and get on over to the radio section. Once you do that, you can get to the, there's a link that you can just get on here to YouTube. The beauty about YouTube is you can tube or not to tube. We're not tubing. Some people are out there tubing in this crazy weather. We still got a little rain coming down. Not a whole lot. We did get a whole lot of rain last night, which was fantastic. But we are sending prayers to everybody all over this planet that are suffering from anything right now. We got a lot going on in our own country with flooding and mishaps and government, the whole nine. But we're always sending our prayers out because this is a hard life. And when you're little, you kind of don't get that. Hopefully your parents shield you from things and teach you things and learn you on how to make your own decisions and think for yourself. And that's what you got to do. You have to have confidence in yourself, be good to each other, help when you can. And dagnabbit, go get that travel license, which I did yesterday. I went down to the the MVD. It's the DMV in California, which is where I started my journey on the planet. But it took about 45 minutes in total. That was waiting in line, taking my picture, which the guy, Cody with the Y, this is for you, buddy. Cody with the Y. This guy was awesome. He was so nice. I got to actually sit down, and I brought in my birth certificate and a hospital bill. And crazy thing is, on my so my birth certificate doesn't have Andrea. And he was like, that's my middle name. He's like, well, he called it Andrea. Where'd Andrea come from? I was like, whatever. I said, it was my mom's best friend when she was growing up. And he said, well, it's not on your birth certificate. I was like, oh, okay. So my license is not going to say my middle name now, which is crazy. It's just my first and last name, which I don't know that I've ever had. So he asked, he said, does your social security card have your middle initial or middle name on it? And I have to go check that out. I don't know, because if it does, I'm going to get that fixed. I'm going to get it fixed because I like my middle name. My mom gave it to me for a reason. So there you have it, folks. Welcome to Weedsday Wednesday. All right. So we are continuing to play the, I call it the dispensaries versus the hemp people. But we're continuing to play the hemp hearing that happened a few weeks ago. And basically what's happening is the dispensaries are mad because there's a bunch of hemp shops and smoke shops and Total Wine and all these places that are selling THC products, but only THC products that have 0.3% or less of THC, like our 2018 federal farm bill allows us to do. So the dispensaries are mad because people are going online and they're, doing whatever they want. And they're selling all sorts of deltas, Delta 8, Delta 9, Delta 10, and all these different products that supposedly get you high or intoxicated, according to them. But I always say, what's wrong with a little happy? Good Lord, the planet could surely use it. And as long as you're not bothering anyone else, who the hell cares? I mean, seriously, who cares? Yeah, let everybody do what they need to do. It's my body. It's my space. If I want 9 cats, I can have 9 cats. Are they driving me absolutely insane? Yes, but I can have them. Oh, this is a hard one to figure out. Anywho, so we're going to play that in a minute. But first of all, we want to give a shout out to Tumbleweeds Health Center in the Good Leaf at 6224 East Speedway Boulevard. That's right. You got it. Woo-hoo. Come on down. Get some hemp products. Get certified. If you want to know what you can get certified for, check out tumbleweedshealthcenter.com. And I'm going to share with you now the different ailments that will get you your medical marijuana card. You do not have to come to Tucson anymore. We can certify you from anywhere in the great state. So if you have one of these conditions, and even if you don't, I'm going to explain to you how you can get your medical card, even if you don't have one of the conditions on the list. But whatever you're getting treated for or whatever therapy you're going through is causing something on the list, you can get your medical card. PTSD, you must have records within the past 12 months. That is a state of Arizona Health Department, AZDHS.gov. That's a health department rule. That's not our rule. Don't yell at us. We didn't do it. And yes, we're still hoping they reduce the fee. I can't tell you how many people come into Tumbleweeds and say, can't you, no, we can't reduce the fee, but why don't you start writing to your Congress people? Your senators, your hoo-haws, your legislatures, everywhere. Just write to them and tell them, hey, guys, we need this to be cheaper. What is wrong with you? It's expensive. It's $150, and that's a huge reason why people aren't getting their medical cards. So shame on you guys. Anywho, cancer, glaucoma, AIDS, most of these things you're going to have medical records for. So if you have something, doesn't matter how old it is, just bring it in. The state of Arizona considers chronic pain 60 days, and that's their definition of chronic is 60 days or more. If you have something that's been going on for 2 months or more, that's chronic for them. We're lucky. Some states consider it 3 months, 6 months, a year, but 2 months is what the state of Arizona's health department considers chronic. And chronic pain includes migraines, fibromyalgia, DDD, arthritis, RA, all your arthritis problems, all your aches and pains. It includes menstrual cramps, leg cramps, muscle cramps. As long as they've been going on, like I said, for more than 2 months, you can get that. But whatever chronic pain you have, you just bring in your records, or if you don't have records, come see our doctor and we can help you establish records. severe nausea, seizures, all seizures, including epilepsy, HIV, Hep C, ALS, Crohn's disease, agitation of Alzheimer's, cachexia or wasting syndrome, severe and persistent muscle spasms, including multiple sclerosis. And the list ends there. But let's say you've got autism, Asperger's, Tourette's, Parkinson's, any other type of seizure, any other type of cramp, anything, IBS, you can't sleep, you got anxiety. And if any of those conditions are causing one of these conditions, then you can get your medical marijuana card. That's all. It's as simple as it is. It's all it has to be. You can get your card for one of these conditions. So we are lucky and grateful for that, for the program that does at least that.
If you suffer from one of these medical conditions and have been diagnosed by an Arizona licensed physician, medical cannabis may help relieve your symptoms. Tumbleweeds Health Center is Arizona's premier cannabis certification, health, and education center. Our primary focus is to help the patients of Arizona obtain their medical marijuana card and educate everyone about medical cannabis. With current medical records, approval is a simple process. Contact Tumbleweeds Health Center to see if you qualify for your Arizona medical marijuana card.
Are chronic conditions holding you back from a happy, healthy life? Get on the right track with Tumbleweeds Health Center. Our CBD products are formulated to fit your health lifestyle.
I would definitely say that CBD has changed my life. I mean, I don't worry about my dog anymore, and I don't worry about sleeping anymore.
Tumbleweeds Health Center, voted #1 health center in Tucson, has created a proprietary number of CBD blends, each designed to promote health and well-being. Let Tumbleweeds Health Center show you how CBD products might help you improve your life the natural way.
Yeah, give us a call, 520-838-4430. You can come on down to 6224 East Speedway Boulevard. You can email thctucson@gmail.com. And if you go over to our telemedicine section, there's a button. Click it, fill out the form, and we will get you your medical marijuana card. We'll see you over the internet, on your phone, wherever it is, whatever you do. All right, now let's get back to, they're calling it hemp versus Arizona. I call it hemp versus the dispensaries. Okay, so we are listening to Detective Matthew Shea from Maricopa County, and he is talking about his stance on hemp and CBD. Here we go. Let's continue.
In addition, as part of the Drug Enforcement Bureau and also in the Sheriff's Office, I'm part of the Clandestine Laboratory Squad. So we receive additional training having to do with the variety of different clandestine labs that are out there. In particular, one section of those clandestine laboratories involve marijuana grows and cannabis manufacture operations. So we receive a lot of training on that, specifically from some particular groups that are out of California. And now when I go to these conferences, we try and focus on these portions of it on marijuana and cannabis, that type of a thing, sir.
Overall, in terms of your training, about how many hours of training have you had on marijuana products, cannabis?
I haven't reviewed it. It's at least 400 hours worth of training on marijuana production, marijuana use, trafficking, the manufacture of cannabis products, and being able to investigate and mitigate those.
And so in terms of your training, you've trained on the plant itself, marijuana plant?
Yes, sir.
How it's grown?
Yes, sir.
How cannabinoids are extracted from the plant?
Yes, sir.
Different types of products that are sold?
Correct.
And do you also teach about marijuana and cannabis?
I do, sir.
How long have you been teaching?
About 4 years into my career, I got my instructor certification. I started teaching the academy classes. I taught 3 different academies throughout the state on basic narcotics. As we moved forward, I started training specific classes having to do with clandestine laboratories and also in the production of marijuana and the manufacture of cannabis from marijuana. I teach at those same conferences that I attend, and I've taught at conferences throughout different states. I also have taught at different agencies throughout a couple of the different states within the U.S. Sir.
In terms of your experience, how long have you been investigating marijuana and cannabis related crimes?
Well, marijuana and cannabis is unfortunately still the #1 abused narcotic and product that is out there. So I've seen it throughout my entire career. but since probably 2010, we've kind of specialized in it in one aspect of our task force. We assist the Department of Health and a number of agencies throughout the state in either consult with us or we assist them with their investigation of either marijuana grows or the production of cannabis products, sir.
How many grows have you investigated?
It'd be hard to guess. I've been probably over 100 marijuana grows for certain, everything from 30,000 plants to, sometimes we'll come across 12 or 15 plants, which are a no-brainer, but kind of the average is probably 150 to 300 plants. So at least 100 of those, sir.
And you know how marijuana products are sold illegally?
Oh, yes. Black market marijuana is still very prevalent throughout the U.S.
And you've actually worked with dispensaries in terms of understanding their business model and how they sell and produce marijuana products?
Yeah, throughout since 2010, I've developed a relationship with a number of dispensaries. We've gone over and received training from some of those larger dispensaries that do grows and do extractions. So I've received training for probably 4 different dispensaries throughout the state of Arizona, and we visited maybe another 10 or so.
You're familiar with cannabinoids?
I am, sir.
We'll talk more in detail, but just a general definition, what are they?
Well, it's a natural product that's produced by the cannabis sativa L plant, and it is one of, depends on which researcher you talk to, but it's between 90 and 120 different compounds that are contained within that plant that can act within the human body.
And as part of your job, have you done marijuana extractions?
Yes, sir.
How many times have you extracted cannabinoids from?
So I've done at least 40 cannabis extractions using solvent methods, and another probably 40 or 50 using kind of a dry sift method, sir.
All right, so let's just talk about marijuana, and I'm going to put up here on the screen. It should be States Exhibit or Defense Exhibit 7. We have that. Clint, are you following my presentation? I'm going to just follow it so it's full screen.
You're listening to Weedsday Wednesday, folks.
I think it will now. I put on a blank screen. I'll take that off. All right, we're ready. There we go. Detective Shea, you're familiar with this exhibit?
I am. You have shown it to me, sir.
And can you just summarize it?
The exhibit itself?
Yeah.
It's basically a PowerPoint that's going to basically introduce a couple different sections of how marijuana is produced and how cannabis is extracted from it, sir.
Judge, can I move to admit States Exhibit or Defense Exhibit 7?
Is there an objection? Yeah. Thank you. Defense 7 is admitted.
Detective Shea, I just want to ask you a couple of questions about cannabinoids, and let's start there. So can you just describe what are the common cannabinoids?
Again, they're a naturally produced product within the marijuana plant. So cannabis sativa L is the genus. Underneath that is the species cannabis, and underneath that is the subspecies sativa, indica, and ruderalis. All of those have what we call cannabinoids that are contained within them, and they're concentrated mostly around the flowers or the petals, leaves that are closer to the flowers. The picture that we see on the screen here shows 3 different images. The bottom left is basically the marijuana flower. And as we go right above that, it's a closer image of one of the leaf or in that flower area. And those are trichomes, those little hairs that you see there. They're basically a hollow cellulose type of a product which contains the oil in the marijuana plant. That's where most of your cannabinoids are going to be concentrated. And then the third one, which is in the middle right, that's a very close-up of those trichomes, sir.
What are the common cannabinoids?
Again, there's about 120 of them. There are 8 specifically that are kind of the most common one, and 2 that are the ones that are most commonly referred to. And that's going to be THC and CBD. Tetrahydrocannabinol and cannabidol are the 2 primary ones, sir.
Do you consider them all intoxicating?
No, sir.
What do you consider intoxicating cannabinoids?
Generally, the THC is going to cause those intoxicating effects, sir. Cannabidiol, if it is isolated, so cannabis CBD isolate, generally doesn't have any type of intoxicating effect and is usually used in balms and items like that that we see occasionally sold retail, etc. It's the THC products, the tetrahydrocannabinol, that react with the human brain, the CB1 receptor that's in the brain, and cause an intoxicating effect.
You mentioned THC products, and we've talked about different ones today, Delta 8, Delta 9. Just generally, what are those different?
Sure. So there's Delta 8, Delta 9, Delta 10, actually have a Delta 7, but it's not really much used. THCA is very common. Now we're seeing THCO and THCP, all of intoxicating, and most of those, although they're derived from the marijuana plant, with the exception of Delta 9, most of those are actually, they're with a chemical manufacture process, they are turned from CBD into a THC product.
When you hear people, like you talk about THC generally, what kind of THC are you referring to?
So most common THC is going to be Delta 9 THC, although we're seeing a significant increase in Delta 8 and Delta 10 and the THCA, sir.
All right, so let's move on to the next page here, page 3 of the slide. It's just about the marijuana plant itself. Can you just describe the different species of the marijuana plant?
Yeah, sure. So the family is Cannabis, and then it goes down to genus. The genus is going to be basically the Cannabis sativa L. L is after the first guy that isolated it and kind of identified it. And then it goes into a subspecies generally considered to be sativa, indica, and ruderalis. Sativa, indica, and ruderalis have different amounts of either THC or CBD in them. And in general, sativa is supposed to have the most THC, indica slightly less, more in line of how much CBD is going to be in that product. And ruderalis was kind of the original hemp plant where they had very low or no THC within that plant. But since then, it's kind of all been mixed together. They'll make hybrids of them. And now we see a variety of those plants kind of mixed. So we'll see a partial indica, maybe a partial ruderalis with some sativa, etc. And so there's a wide variety of different types of marijuana plants, what they might call strains of marijuana that are available out there for people to pick from and get whatever product they want from that.
So let's unpack some of that. Basic question, THC found in all those different plants?
Yes, sir, to an extent in every one, much less in ruderalis, much more in sativa and indica.
You mentioned this, traditionally hemp was considered the ruderalis plant?
Yeah, so hemp and marijuana have been around since 2700 BC, and it had been used for fiber and extracting oil from the seeds since back then. 1940 is when they identified CBD. 1942, they identified Delta 8 CBD and Delta 10 CBD, and they started to investigate those effects. And in 1968, 69, they identified that CBD did not have an intoxicating effect, whereas 8 and 10 at that time were using an intoxicating effect, sir.
So when we talk about hemp, the legal definition, it could be any of those plants as long as it satisfies the legal definition?
Yeah, hypothetically, they use the term hemp much like they use the term cannabis. And when I say they, just the general public, can mean a lot of different things. But specifically, hemp has been always used to make textiles and, again, some oils and even feed animals with the seed process. Now, since the 2018 bill, hemp is more kind of designed around how much Delta 9 THC at a dry weight is identified in that product.
And it could be either one of those species of plant.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then move on to page 4, and I'm going to ask you a couple of questions about extracts, concentrates. You're familiar with that term?
Yes, sir.
And just for context, are you familiar with the legal definitions of cannabis and marijuana in Title 13?
The Arizona legal definition, yes, sir.
Yeah, and just so we could distinguish when we're talking about those terms, can you just give a brief summary of what those two are?
Sure. The state of Arizona, legally, we define marijuana as kind of the plant product, and cannabis is any of the, essentially the oils that are going to be extracted from that plant product.
What an idiot.
So on slide 4 here, we're talking about the legal definition. We're talking about cannabis. Can you just give a basic overview of how cannabis is created?
Yes, sir. two basic methods, sir. You can either do it what we would call mechanically, so you could screen it, you could sift it, you could freeze those trichomes, knock them off the plant and collect them, or you can go with basically a solvent-based extraction, which also might include a CO2-based extraction. But that is using a solvent essentially to absorb the cannabinoids out of the marijuana plant, get rid of the plant material, and then you would dry off the solvent that you used. It would either evaporate or you might recollect it using vacuum. And what is left behind is going to be your base cannabis. In this case, if we were doing THC, it would be a THC oil. And they would call it, I think one of the last gentlemen described it correctly as crude oil. Generally comes out very dark. And at that point, you may purify it a bit. And then you could end up with a product like we see on the screen here. This is going to be cannabis distillate, which is a very purified form of that has been extracted from the marijuana plant.
And what are some of the common names for those extracts or distillates?
Forever it's been called hash or hashish, but recently it's a variety of extracts. So there's dabs, there's vapes, but distillate, again, is what...
Okay, I just want to throw out a disclaimer here. This guy has no idea what he's talking about. I don't care how many hours of classes he took. He's giving wrong definitions. He really does not know the plant at all or the process. And so take it with a grain of salt, folks. This is Belle Star with Weedsday Wednesday. You are listening to the hearing that happened a few weeks ago. And you can't believe everything you hear. And I hope this judge takes it upon himself to do some research and get the correct information and the correct education, because this guy does not know it.
Here, they'll call it concentrate because you're concentrating your cannabinoid. And generally, we're talking about THC there. And then you might refer to these specific products. So edibles, vape pens, intoxicants, drinks, etc.
What is the THC potency of products developed from those extracts?
Depends on what stage you're at. If you're using a marijuana plant with a significant amount of THC initially in it and you extract it, generally that first crude oil is going to be for the 60 or 70% THC level. And as you purify it more, as you distill it off, you can get it up to about the 95 percentile if you really go at it pretty well.
And I think you've touched on this already, but just can you explain how those extracts are used in cannabis products?
So you would take, it depends again what you're making and how you're making it. But in the case of a distillate, that's generally used for a vaporizer pen. Fill a vaporizer pen, put in a thinner, and then you can actually essentially smoke it or vaporize it. You could potentially use this distillate in an edible product or something along those lines. And then obviously potentially, or if you're going to put it in a drink, you would bring it down to a crystalline level generally, and then mix it in with the drink product. In gummies, you might add it directly into the mixture you are going to the gelatin, which you're going to make the gummies. And then chocolate bars and cookies are all kind of the same things.
So let's say a drink, we'll take a drink. So it says 10 milligrams of THC. Is that referring to extracted THC?
That would be THC that's been originally generally brought down to a dry or a crystalline level, mixed in to the product. So it would be 10 milligrams of that THC that's going to be in that product that you're drinking.
So in other words, we're not talking about like chopped up marijuana that's fun to drink or something like that.
No, sir. Chopped up marijuana and edible is very old school, like way grandma's brownies kind of a thing.
Let's move on. I'm going to move on to exhibit
Very frustrating.
8.
All right. Well, you know what isn't frustrating? Our favorite song. Let's play it.
Puff, 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 I'm gonna smoke some weed. I got $20 in my pocket. I'm a hunt, looking for a watch out. This is fucking awesome.
hot. I'm just pumped up, got some herb from the pot shop. Ice in the fridge, it used to be frosty. My friends like, damn, that's a stone ass donkey. Rolling in hella high, looking like it's FIFA time. Dominating all my friends as I eat some chili fries. Draped in a snuggie with my girl sitting next to me. Probably shouldn't have had a big gulp full of iced tea. But shit, it was 99 cents. I'll be blazing and smoking, about to go and get some munchies snacks. Passing up on those Cracker Jacks, Reese's Pieces are where it's at. Gotta get me some soda pop. Cottonmouth has been creeping up, but can't remember where I put my keys. Yeah, that's what's up. I'ma take your grandpa's ride.
No, for real, ask your grandpa,
Can I take a 65 to Bill's cruising to my local Publix? Nothing better than rolling with two super fly chicks. They have frozen burritos. I bought frozen burritos. I bought some Ben and Jerry's, and then I bought some Cheetos. Hello, my main man Obama. A couple states have just reformed their laws on marijuana. What you gonna do? Send the feds there? Hell no. The DAs will be like, oh, they got volcano.
I'm gonna smoke some weed. Only got $20 in my pocket. I'm a hunting, looking for a pot shop. This is fucking awesome. I'm gonna smoke some weed. Only got $20 in my pocket. I'm a hunting, looking for a pot shop. This is fucking awesome.
What you know about the science of marijuana?
What you know about people suffering from glaucoma? They need it. It helps them with their condition. If you don't believe me, then just ask my physicians. Thank your granddad for voting for that guy. Richard Nixon is the president who made the plant illegal. But science is now showing that it's medicine for people, and the private sector's fighting to keep all of that illegal. Alcohol and tobacco, pharmaceutical prisons. I'll take those 4 major lobby groups and fight those motherfuckers. They're making money day and night. All those motherfuckers. And bribing Congress out of sight. All those motherfuckers. They be like, oh, it's immoral and unhealthy. I'm like, how many people are you making wealth? Anti-marijuana lobbies are making all kinds of profits, and they don't want you to stop because of all the special shit. I call that getting swindled and PM shit. I call that getting tricked by the government. That law's hella old. So it's time to update it, regulate it, and then get it under state control. Peak game, look into my political telescope. Think it's gonna stay like this forever?
Not hella won't. Not hella won't.
Hey, Grandma, stop being a hypocrite. You used to smoke weed.
I'm gonna smoke some weed. Only got $20 in my pocket. I'm a hunter, looking for a pot shop. This is fucking awesome. Let's end the war on drugs. It's time to pull the plug. These special interest groups are nothing more than corporate thugs. Let's end the war on weed. The people have agreed. These special interest groups have their people. I'm gonna smoke some weed. Only got $20 in my pocket. I'm a hunter, looking for a pot shop. This is fucking awesome.
All right, welcome back to Weedsday Wednesday, folks. We are listening to the hemp trial. Hemp is on trial. Yeah, once again. All right, check it out. Go to tumbleweedshealthcenter.com, click the radio link, get on YouTube, and you can listen in as well. This is probably going to take another, we're not going to finish today, so we'll finish next week with it. But here we go. Continuation of Matthew Shea, detective in Maricopa County, who doesn't seem to know very much about his weed. That's all I got to say about that. If you're going to get on and talk to a judge, learn your... Yeah, Jesus. You should see the comments. This is taken from another guy's radio show, podcast, whatever you call them. I'm old school. I don't even know what these things are called. But he recorded this hearing so that we could see it, because I actually called the state of Arizona and they're like, nope, we don't record them. So you have to find somebody that did. And thankfully he did. So here we go. Continue.
For this to pull up here. Doing my internet. Replies.
All right. Well, he's trying to figure that out. Let's see. You're listening to Weedsday Wednesday. Hemp hearing. I don't know what's...
There we go.
There we go.
Unfortunately, sideways. Detective Shea, are you familiar what Exhibit 8 is?
Yes, sir.
Can you describe what that is?
It's a cannabis vaporizer that we intercepted coming in through, I think this package was through FedEx, coming into the state, and purports to contain 2 milliliters of sativa and then a mixture of hemp-derived products.
Is this a picture that you took?
Yes, sir.
Judge, I move to admit Exhibit 8.
No objection. Exhibit 8 is admitted.
You mentioned that you intercepted this. Was this a product that was being shipped or sold to a dispensary in Arizona?
No, sir. It was being shipped to a distributor that provides it to smoke shops and head shops, stores throughout the state.
Now, you mentioned that has 2 milliliters of THC. Do you know what kind of THC it says it has?
Well, it purports to contain 2 milliliters of Delta 9 THC, but it says a THC blend, which then imply that the hemp-derived products that are in there are going to be a blend of probably Delta 8 and Delta 10. But it does not list the ingredients that are on there, sir.
Move on to Exhibit 9. Just wait for this one to pull up.
All right. Well, they're still waiting for their exhibits.
There we go.
All righty.
Detective Sherry, you're familiar with what is Exhibit 9?
Yes, sir.
Can you describe what it is?
That is basically flour, marijuana flour, that is purported to be made specifically of THCA.
Is that a picture
It is, sir.
that you took?
Yes, sir.
Judge, I move to admit Exhibit 9.
Can I ask a clarifying question before I don't object?
With the witness?
Yes,
Go ahead.
about this exhibit, regarding this exhibit. I'm just seeing, I don't, is there somewhere this that says it's hemp derived?
Yes, actually, some of the other photos specifically have it, and the actual item is here in court, if you need to see it, sir.
Okay, but I mean, you're saying that on the label somewhere, it's purporting to be hemp derived?
Well, THCA is hemp derived, sir.
Well, it could be marijuana derived, couldn't it?
Oh, it could be, but it does say on the product that it's a hemp derived product.
All right, I think we're not the witness enough. If you want to cross them on it, you can.
That's fine, Judge, thank you. No objection to the admission.
Thank you. Defendant's 9 is admitted.
Detective Sherry, you mentioned that the product's here in court.
It is, sir.
Does it say it's hemp derived?
I can read it to you specifically, but it'll say what it comes from, but all of these products say it there, derived from hemp.
Should we just get? Judge, can I just show them as a demonstrative actual exhibit since there's a question over its source?
Yeah. I mean, you got it through security, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, if you want to use it as a demonstrative, that's fine.
You got it through security. That's not saying much. I got an axe on the airplane through security. That's not saying much.
In criminal cases, we do admit actual things like this as evidence, and
Let's see it,
I'm not going to do
boys.
that in this case.
Oh, come on. Looks like marijuana. Jeez. Oh boy. These people really are clueless. All right, let's see if we can get this on our calendar. Here we go. Oh. Nope. All right. You're listening to Weedsday Wednesday. This is the hemp trial that we are trying to listen to. And I don't know what they're doing.
Okay. I am ready, sir. Okay, so this says 7 grams of sativa, THCA snow caps, made by Turk Nation. Nice. Produced in accordance with the Agricultural Improvement Act of 2018, i.e. hemp.
Okay. Now, you mentioned that you intercepted this that was bound for a store in Arizona.
This was going to a distributor, which would then provide those stores.
Was that going to a dispensary in Arizona?
No, sir, this is not sold out of a dispensary. Couldn't be sold out of a dispensary. As a matter of fact, it doesn't have any of the proper markings. No, sir.
Judge, if we may, I could just release that product back to him.
That's fine.
Yeah. And then, some questions earlier about how long these products, hemp-derived products have been sold in Arizona. Do you have a time frame about how long they've been sold in Arizona?
Well, certainly they've been sold for at least 5 years, maybe longer, but we've really seen an insurgence in it in the last 2 or 3 years, and the last year they really ramped it up.
When you mentioned the last year they really ramped it up, is that because a major retailer started selling them in the state?
Several major retailers started selling them in the state, sir.
Are you familiar with the Attorney General's 2024 opinion?
I am.
Were these products still being sold in the state after the 2024 opinion?
Afterwards, yes, sir.
What did the response seem to be to that opinion?
They doubled down. They increased significantly after the 2024 opinion.
Have you been in a total line after that 2024 opinion?
Yes, sir.
Was issued? Were they selling hemp-derived THC products in Total Wine?
Yes, sir.
What were they?
They were Delta 9, 5 milligram, 10 milligram. I think I saw a 30 milligram bottle of Delta 9 THC inside and a liquid-based intoxicant.
So different hemp-derived beverages?
Yes, sir.
And then, are you familiar with the letter that the Attorney General's office sent out in March of 2025?
I am, sir.
Did you go into a Total Wine after that letter was published?
I did, sir.
But not everybody got the letter.
Defense Exhibit 2. I'm gonna blank the screen and just wait for this to load.
So if the Attorney General is sending out letters.
Are you familiar what is Defense Exhibit 2?
I am, sir.
Can you just describe what that is?
Yes. So this is a picture of one of the giant aisle of intoxicating hemp products that was at Total Wine. What they did in this particular case is they used plastic to kind of bar the customers from potentially obtaining them, and then stuck this sign on top of it. So it's a picture of that, sir. And it is the broadcast to their clientele to advise them of why they were no longer able to purchase the intoxicating beverage.
Is that a picture that you took?
That one is not mine, sir. But I saw the exact same one. I was at the same one, sir.
That accurately displays the sign that was in Total Wine?
Exactly that sign, sir.
Judge, I move to admit Defense Exhibit 2.
No objection.
Defense 2 is admitted.
They're not even asking the real questions here. So seriously, if the AG is going to send
Judge, I
out
have no further questions.
letters, send them to
Cross-examination.
everybody.
Thanks, Judge.
We never got anything.
It's good to see you. Good to see you, sir. We've seen each other in various cases over the years. I know.
Yeah.
I like the beard, by the way. I haven't seen it with it and things. I want to ask you a couple questions about your testimony specifically. I heard you make a statement in response to the question whether CBD is intoxicating. And you said something, I believe you said to the effect of, generally it doesn't have an intoxicating effect. I just wonder what you meant by generally.
CBD isolate. So if we were to extract cannabinoids from a marijuana plant using a solvent-based method, and then we were to distill them to bring them down to their very purest form, we can extract specifically CBD from it, CBD that has no THC from it. So we would call that CBD isolate. That is not going to be intoxicating at all. We can also take from that CBD product, though, and then we could start to manipulate it using heat and acid and a little bit of pressure, and then we can create intoxicating products from that CBD. THC8, THC10, THCA, all can be created from CBD. Even THC9, Delta 9 THC, I apologize, Delta 9, Delta 8, Delta 10, THCA, can all be made from that CBD. So in general, CBD is not intoxicating. However, if we manipulate it, if we start to mix and match and add acids to it, we can reform the molecules that are within there, and we can make that into an intoxicating product.
So at no level of CBD isolate, a human being could drink or eat or whatever, consume, inhale as much CBD as they wanted to, and they could not medically become intoxicated?
I don't believe the word would be intoxicated, but the FDA seriously discouraged people consuming large quantities of CBD.
Why is that?
because they've had a lot of hospital visits with people that consuming CBD products and then going to the hospital. I have several of those here in the court if you'd like to see them.
Okay, several of those what?
The reports from the FDA, sir.
And why did these people go to the hospital?
They consumed too much of a product that was purported to be CBD. It was most likely mixed with other things, or it could have been the CBD themselves.
No.
Unfortunately, the studies have not proven one way or another permanently what CBD is exactly to your body. It does some good things, apparently, but they believe it does some bad stuff too. And the more you consume, the more hazardous it can become. That's the FDA's opinion.
So, depending on how much you consume, would it be fair to say that from what we know now, CBD is potentially intoxicating?
Not intoxicating, sir. I don't believe intoxicating is a word, more of a hazard to your health.
Okay, but in toxicology, doesn't that mean when you consume something that it causes harm? How would you, let me ask you, how do you define it?
Well, again, it's from the FDA report. The FDA talks about having issues with your chest, your blood pressure, when children get a hold of it, that they consume too much and they have to be hospitalized, etc. There's a whole list of different things. I don't know that any of them are considered to be intoxicated, that someone got too drunk or too high using a CBD product, but simply that they consumed too much of a product that either hadn't been tested properly, perhaps, or perhaps just having too much of that product.
Okay, so you're not, when we use the word intoxicating, we're not talking about like the FDA's definition of intoxicating. We're talking about something more different, that it causes. Did I hear you say? I'm not sure. Did I hear you say impairing or something? Or I'm not sure. I'm trying to understand what the word intoxicating.
Gotcha. Yeah, within the human brain, we have two cannabinoid receptors. Primary ones are CB1 and CB2. THC products react with the CB1 receptor and cause an intoxicating effect, causing you to get what we would call high. It can be severe euphoric or etc. And it really depends on the amount you consume, obviously, and how often you consume it. But that's generally how it works in the human brain.
And then CBD binds with, is it true that CBD binds with certain receptors, serotonin receptors in the brain?
CBD does, I believe so. Yes, sir.
And it can produce a euphoric feeling?
It can make you happy, I assume. Yes, sir.
All right. So again, I'm trying to figure out, we have a scientific definition of intoxicating that the FDA talks about, which could involve chest pain or high blood pressure, that sort of thing.
I don't think the FDA talks about intoxicating, sir. They're talking about it causing potential harm with you materially with your health. I don't believe that's intoxicating. Intoxicating is when you now may start to conduct yourselves in a manner other than what would be just kind of your normal day-to-day.
And where's that definition in law?
I think that was my definition, sir, right there.
Does that definition, do you know, does that appear anywhere in the law?
Oh, I don't know that the state law has a definition on intoxication. I'm not familiar with it unless it's under the Title IV laws when it comes to liquor.
Okay. You talked about THC, and you've also talked about the different types of THC, Delta 9, Delta 8, Delta 10. Which of those THCs is restricted under both federal and Arizona law?
Under both? All of them. The DEA reports that they don't sanction any of the THC products, and the state of Arizona, any cannabis product that is intoxicating is going to be considered to be illegal. Technically, any cannabis product that's extracted is illegal, but as a law enforcement agent, we really just go after the ones that are going to be considered to be a drug, which would be an intoxicating one.
But the DEA has specifically issued an opinion indicating that Delta 8 is lawful under federal law.
I read one from 2023 where they said, oh, so you're saying Delta 8 is lawful under the federal law? Right. I'm not familiar with that at all, sir.
Okay, what my question was, do you know the definition of industrial hemp?
Yes, sir.
What is it?
It is a product that's been extracted from the marijuana plant under the 2018 Farm Bill, which contains less than 0.03% of Delta 9 THC.
Nope.
0.3%.
Is that what I said? Did I say?
0.03.
Yes.
0.3%. Okay. Of what?
0.03%, sir.
Is it 0.03%?
No.
Or?
Yes, sir.
It's 0.3.
Okay, yeah, you're right. I'm wrong.
That's all right.
I think the law actually says 0.3 of one. What?
You're right.
I was right. 0. All right. 0.3 of I think 0.3% of Delta 9.
And the
covered
lawyer's
laws,
questioning that?
30, okay. Sure. Yes, sir.
And which of the types of THC does that restriction apply to?
Which types of THC? It talks about Delta 9 THC.
Okay, does it have any similar restriction for any other kind of THC?
No, sir.
Does Delta 8 naturally occur within the cannabis sativa plant?
In very small quantities, yes, sir.
I think you mentioned THCA. Does that naturally occur?
It does. That can be in pretty large quantities.
Okay. Talking about Total Wine, you saw a sign. I think you said that they were putting Delta 9 THC into, I think the word you used was an intoxicating liquid, but they're not putting that in alcohol. You're not saying they're putting that in alcoholic beverages, are you?
No, they're putting an intoxicating beverage, intoxicating liquid. I'd say pretty much the same thing. But yeah, they're selling it at a liquor store, but it doesn't actually contain any alcohol in it.
Okay.
It's not the same thing.
And
what an idiot.
do you have any evidence that those beverages contain more than 0.3% Delta 9 THC?
No, I think I was just talking about the milliliters,
Because they
the
didn't test
quantity
them.
in total dry weight that would be inside that product. And it's listed on the products themselves.
Is marijuana under, say, the Medical Marijuana Act or the Smart and Safe Arizona Act, is Delta 9 percentage restricted?
No, they don't make, in Arizona, we don't make any differential between Delta 9, Delta 8, Delta 10, any of those. It's called cannabis, and that's, or marijuana.
So it could be 99% Delta
What
9
an idiot.
and under, let's say, the adult use act law.
Yeah, if you're selling out of the dispensary, for sure.
So when that sign says that the products contain much less Delta 9 THC, isn't what they're saying is no more than 0.3%, whereas at a dispensary you could buy something that's 99% Delta 9 THC?
I think what they're stating there, sir, is that it falls under what they believe to be covered under the Hemp Act of 2018, right, which is the 0.03%. And then they talk about the dry weight of that product that's been added to their product. And so in that case, then it becomes a certain milliliter. Is it 10 milliliters or 30 milliliters or whatever else? So if I have a plant which is making 0.3% of some product, and I had a plant that's making 30% of O3 product, I think we were talking like oranges just a couple minutes ago, one of the other witnesses there. So we could talk about kind of a nice big orange that has a lot of juice in it, or a small orange with a little bit of juice in it. I can still fill this cup with orange juice. I just got to use more of these than this. So all we need is more of that 0.03% that's taken out of the hemp product and add it, and we can get it to a level where by dry weight, it has say 10 milliliters of THC in it. So they'll add more sugar or whatever else, dry weight, add some liquid, and now you have a chemical product, and still stays under that 0.3%, sir.
Okay, so I think though that there is a distinction between hemp and the marijuana that's sold at a dispensary, insofar as the hemp can only contain no more than 0.3% Delta 9 THC.
Yeah, but they sell those same liquids so those same drinks that are sold at, say, Total Wine, they can sell those at the dispensary, and they do. Same kind of product.
But they're not. The difference is supposedly that the ones at Total Wine are derived from hemp.
Right. Yeah, they use some process to extract the product from hemp, and in a dispensary, I can only imagine they might get that also from marijuana.
Can I ask you, what is a cannabinoid? We've been talking about cannabinoids. How would you define a cannabinoid?
The naturally occurring substance that's contained within the marijuana plant. There's between 90 and 120 of these cannabinoids that are inside the marijuana plant. They're generally going to be psychoactive. It causes some type of effect inside your body. The primary ones we talk about, however, sir, are CBD and THC.
Okay. Would you consider it to be a constituent element of the cannabis sativa plant?
Could you clarify a little bit better? So a constituent element, it's part of the cannabis sativa L plant. So it's without the cannabinoid, you don't have a cannabis sativa L plant.
So since the publication of the Attorney General's advisory opinion last year that you've been conducting investigations, is it fair to say manufacturers, distributors, and retailers of these hemp cannabinoid consumables?
No. So we talked about the total line. I go there to buy beer all the time, and you cannot miss during that time the amount of intoxicating liquids that they had in there. It was an entire row, thousands of bottles. So you couldn't miss this. That was an investigation. That was me swinging by to get some beer and noticing that. We do seize products that come in through parcels that are illegal, and we don't allow them to get to their destination. We have not taken any enforcement action, allowing for the grace period, which was allowed by the Attorney General's office, and even the additional month's grace period after that. So we have not done any enforcement action, with the exception of seizing the product and not allowing it to get to its destination.
So let's Delta 8 fees. But how long have you been seeing that being sold on a retail basis in Arizona?
We started seeing it in large masses about a year ago, maybe a little more than that, but probably a year ago. We also see it quite significantly on the black market being sold now.
Smoke shops hasn't been sold for a good deal, up to 4 years now.
Yeah, but we, again, that's entirely possible, but we have not launched any investigations against any of the smoke shops or the liquor stores that sell those products. They sell a variety of products in which we could investigate. We had our hands full with just simply the regular marijuana products they were selling out of there. So as far as the CBD products, we might seize, we might report, but I don't believe we did any enforcement action, and we have yet to do so until we kind of conclude things with the Attorney General's office here.
What do you mean regular products?
Smoke shops will sell under the counter THC vapes, THC weed, etc. You know, some of the unfortunately not all of these smoke shops are up and up. Some of them are just going to deal at the table. So we see that.
Meaning that they're not really hemp derived products, just straight up marijuana.
Those are the ones that we will seize and actually enforce. If we find hemp derived products, which we do, those just get impounded.
But why, is it your opinion that those products are just as illegal as kind of regular marijuana?
It's the Attorney General's opinion, sir.
And so, have you made, why the lack of enforcement?
Because, again, the Attorney General decided to give a grace period to allow those people that are manufacturing and just trying to earn a living to be able to comply, to understand why they made that decision, and, you know, perhaps even to let them fight it in court.
Have you been conducted research into methods of manufacturing of these hemp-derived cannabinoid products?
Not necessarily investigations. I consulted with sensory agents and people that manufacture cannabis products on how they do that. Some of them actually extract CBD from it. I've been to a number of CBD businesses which have had unfortunate accidents or incidents that have occurred during that manufacturing process, discussed it with those guys. I've done a significant amount of research, not only in preparation for this case, but also to be able to teach that topic in a variety of classes. So I wouldn't say it's been an investigation, sir, but I have a moderate amount of knowledge.
Mr. Dan, we're running low on time, so I need you to wrap up with this.
Oh my goodness, folks! I don't even know what to say about this. They've got witnesses that have no clue what they're talking about, so take it with a grain of salt. And I don't even know what to say about hemp products right now. We've not received any letters, so I don't know. Good luck out there, folks. You're listening to Weedsday Wednesday. We'll be back next week with the rest of this. May or may not finish it up, but we'll check it out. As always, remember, be smart, be safe, and educate. And that fool needs to educate himself as well. Shame on him. He thought he did such a good job. Thanks for tuning in each and every week, folks. We love you guys. We love talking about weed. Weedsday Wednesday, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in. Belle Star here. We'll get Cannabis Kid on. Have a great week, and we will see you next time. And that concludes our show.